In a previous report, one of my guests and I, Iggy, shared our ideas about how to save money on accommodations while slow traveling the world. Today I'll update you on the slow travel wheel idea and what you need to do next personally. Number one, I'll briefly explain what a slow traveler is. Number two, I'll briefly explain what a slow travel wheel is and how it could save you time, money, and hassle if you decide to travel the world slowly. Number three, I'll briefly share the surveys you completed defining your perfect slow travel wheel. And number four, I'll explain what you can do if you want to help Iggy get the first slow travel wheels off the ground. Okay, so what is a slow traveler? A slow traveler moves forward through the world one destination at a time, from one destination to the next without flying home between destinations. They stay in each destination for a few weeks, months, or even longer. They may return to their home country once every year or two to visit family or friends or to attend special occasions. But they may not pay for an empty bed anywhere in the world because they're not sure when they will return home. Some slow travelers do pay for an empty bed in their home country for a feeling of security, especially when they're new. But many get tired of paying for an empty bed and may eventually let go when they realize they can always get another empty bed later if they change their mind. Some slow travelers reduce their expenses greatly by exploring multiple adjacent countries in one region of the world, going forward for months and even years, often traveling via ground transportation between destinations in that region before taking an intercontinental flight to another continent in the world. This amortizes expensive international flights over many months or years. One problem slow travelers face is keeping the cost of accommodations down. That is what made Iggy and I start thinking about alternative ways to solve the slow travel accommodations problem at affordable rates. So what is a slow travel wheel? A slow travel wheel is a sequence of accommodations a slow traveler can stay in while traveling through a region of the world. The key is to place the accommodations at a sequence of locations that are so enticing to slow travelers in general that they are willing to book the entire wheel. A slow travel wheel would allow a slow traveler to spend more time exploring destinations on the wheel and less time finding and negotiating individual accommodations each time they move destinations. Slow travelers could then just jump on a slow travel wheel, and much of the administrative work of the organization would not be required by them. They would just read about the wheel, and if they liked the locations on the wheel and how long they would stay in each location, they could just book themselves on the slow travel wheel that fits their needs. What to do if you're interested? Okay, I'm going to explain to you what you need to do if you're interested in slow travel wheels. But after that, I'm going to share the perfect slow travel wheel results of surveys that you guys shared on the channel so you get an idea of the feedback you gave. Okay, what to do if you're interested? Iggy has decided to create slow travel wheels. So you need to join Iggy's email list if you're interested. You may be interested in being a slow traveler on a slow travel wheel. You may also decide that you want to be a local resource in a slow travel wheel city that helps Iggy get this off the ground. Maybe you're an expert or local living in an ideal city for slow travel wheels. Maybe you'd like to play a role in serving slow travelers in a city on the wheel, such as tours, finding rental property, answering questions, etc. So whether you just want to travel on a slow travel wheel or be involved in helping to create them, you need to get on Iggy's email list and let him know what you're interested in, how you want to participate. Iggy's worked on multi-million-dollar projects before, so he has way more knowledge and expertise in organizing people and resources than I do. I just don't have the time or money to help Iggy with this project, so I'm bowing out gracefully and will not be involved in this project other than to encourage Iggy. I will continue to encourage Iggy because I think that slow travel will become much easier for all of us if we had slow travel wheels to make slow travel life easier. So without any pecuniary or money interests or benefits, advertising payments, ownership rights, management, or control, I will interview Iggy from time to time so you and I remain aware of how his slow travel wheels are developing. I sincerely hope his project is successful because it will make slow travel more easily. But do jump on Iggy's email lists so you can learn directly from him how things are progressing, and so you can join when you're ready or help him to build and service locations on the wheels. Just click the first link in the notes below this video to get on his list, or email Iggy directly. I'll put the link, the email down there also. Okay, I did 2 surveys trying to figure out what you all thought would be the perfect slow travel wheel, but here are the survey's results. I'll show them to you visually now. Okay, this is quiz 1 here. The first question is, how long would your ideal slow travel period be in weeks? 12 weeks or less, 71 people wanted, which is 25%. 12 to 24 weeks, 83 people wanted, which is 30%. 24 to 52, 80, and then more than a year, 48 people wanted for 17%. How many bedrooms would you want at each furnished apartment while slow traveling? Just a studio, 81 people, that's a count, 30% roughly. 159 people wanted a 1-bedroom, which is about 56%. And a 2-bedroom, 40 people wanted a 14% wanted a 2-bedroom. What type of travel fits you the best? World traveler that goes to my home country at the end, that would be 77 people, or 28%. Digital nomad, 18 people, almost 7%. Exploring the world for the best place to retire overseas, that's 110 people, or 40%. I will slow travel for the rest of my life, 70 people, or 26%. How many locations should be in each slow travel wheel? 6 or fewer locations, 92 people, with 34%. 7 to 20 locations, 133 people, or 48%. 20 to 52 locations, 13%, and more than 52 locations, 13 people, about 5%. Would you want the apartment to be in a highly walkable area of the city where you would not need a car? 204 people said yes, please, 80%. 39 people said no, I prefer to be outside the central area so long as there's public transportation to get into the central area in less than 30 minutes. And then 13 people, or only 5%, said no, I prefer to be outside the central areas so long as they have vehicle or scooter rentals and I'm within 30 minutes of the central area. Next up, how should the furnished apartments offered on the slow travel wheels be created? Member created wheels. The club members should list their furnished apartments in the club listings along with details and pictures, and members could start creating their own wheels by contacting other members whose apartments they want to visit during their slow travel. That was 7% of the people that answered that question. Club created wheels. The club should pick the cities that will be in each wheel, rent the apartments, and members could just sign up for club created wheels that they find most interesting. That's 44 people, or 20%. And then hybrid. Members should be able to list their apartments in the membership area so members could contact each other and create wheels, but there should also be club created wheels that members can jump on even if they don't have an apartment to list in the membership. Are you interested in being a travel club member or an ambassador in a featured city? I'm interested in being a slow travel member, 214 people, or 88%. I'm interested in being an expat ambassador in a slow travel city, 29 people, or 12%. What types of travel have you done in the past? 29 people, or 30%. I've rented furnished apartments with kitchens before when I traveled. 19 people, or 20%. I've stayed in a private room in a hostel before. 22 people, or 22%. I've stayed in a bed and breakfast with a private room before. Count of 14 people at 14%. I've rented a private room in a furnished apartment hosted by the landlord before. That's kind of an Airbnb thing where you're just renting a room. I've stayed in a hostel before in a room shared with others. 14 people, that's 14%. If you were to jump on a slow travel wheel, which type of slow travel sounds most appealing to you? I would only jump on a slow travel wheel if it strictly had only private furnished apartments with only me and my guests staying there and would be willing to pay the difference. 14 people, which is 23%. I would be, these are also multiple answers you could give if you wanted to. I would consider jumping on a slow travel wheel that had a private bedroom for me and a furnished apartment sharing only the living room and kitchen with the host ambassador if the cost savings would allow me to go to places or do things that my budget might not otherwise allow. And then at 17 people or 28%, I'd prefer jumping on a slow travel wheel that had private bedroom for me but shared the living room and kitchen with the host, ambassador, and other guests because I like the community aspects of it, especially if it would allow me to go places or do things that my budget might not otherwise allow. 17 people are almost 30%. I absolutely would prefer jumping on a slow travel wheel with a private bedroom and shared community areas because I like the idea of meeting and associating with other travelers when I slow travel. Saving money is just a cherry on top. That's 14 people or 24%. I would not jump on a slow travel wheel with private furnished apartments. I prefer having city ambassador or other guests involved that I can talk to. That's 1% or almost 2%. Okay, if you would consider being a city ambassador for slow travelers, what services would you be interested in providing? So this would be a local person who's at one of the slow travel destinations. I would be interested in arranging apartments hosted or private and arranging cleaning and helping new guests. The count is 15%. Arranging and providing tours, classes, or activities, count 13. 22%. Creating, updating, or providing reports and interviews about the city you live. Count is 15%. Providing consulting services, answering questions for potential slow travelers about the city you live. 17 people, almost 29%. And taking an ambassador course that teaches how to create reports about your city, do interviews, gather data, and or create YouTube videos about your city. Okay, thanks for watching the survey results about what a perfect slow travel wheel is. Remember to get on Iggy's email list. It'll be at the first link in the notes below this video. And if you want to see the 2 previous videos we did or take the survey yourself, that'll be the second link on the below this YouTube video. Thanks for watching this video, and you have a great day.